All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the New York Giants in today's video. Now, their offseason has been headlined by the move they made a few weeks ago. Russell Wilson will be their starting quarterback, it appears, for the 2025 NFL season. Now, I do think they'll take a quarterback at some point in the draft, but having the third overall pick, it kind of appears like Travis Hunter is going to be a member of the New York Giants. And I said the same thing about Shedeur Sanders. Travis Hunter fits this culture perfectly. And you can kind of hit two birds with one stone because, yeah, obviously he's a cornerback, but he's also a wide receiver. But what a lot of people don't realize about the Giants right now is they actually made some really nice moves this offseason thus far, specifically in their secondary. Paulson Adebo can just stay healthy. This guy's had like 28 pass deflections in his last 20 games. He played 7 games last season for the New Orleans Saints before a season-ending injury. He had 10 pass deflections. He had over 50 tackles. The dude is on his way to becoming a star in the National Football League. Javon Holland at the safety position, he's coming off a little bit of an underwhelming statistical season, but he's in his prime age as well, and their roster's better. Especially the bottom of their roster, it's better than it was when the offseason began. So the third pick is interesting, and we'll probably get into a Travis Hunter film study towards the second half of this video here. But I'm curious because we're a couple of weeks away from the NFL draft. And so I'm curious from Giants fans right now, if you want to drop a comment, who would you select at pick number 3, regardless of who's already been taken? Abdul could have been taken, Shedeur, everybody's available at pick number 3. Who is your guy? Let me know that down below. But when we look at Travis Hunter, I mean, the guy's a star. He's just a star. And one thing I'm really impressed by is his wide receiver ability. Last season, 140.7 pass rating when targeted. That was first in college football. 68.8% contested catch percent. That's third in the league. 3.2% drop rate. That was fifth in the league. He's only had 4 career drops. And so whether you view him as a better cornerback or a wide receiver, it doesn't really matter because he's going to play both and he's going to be a stud at both, or he's going to be a stud at least one. But when you look at the Giants defense, man, honestly, it's not the worst. And especially with a couple of new additions in Paulson and Javon Holland, Tyler Nubin's coming off a really good rookie season. That secondary with Travis Hunter would be fixed, or fixed is not really the word I meant to say, but it would be really intriguing. It would be talented. The floor would be raised. The ceiling would be raised. It would be a very good move for the defense. And then wide receiver room, New York's got a really intriguing wide receiver room. So they brought back Darius Slayton, which was huge because he's Mr. Reliable, old savvy vet, and he's not even old. Malik Neighbors is a stud. He's going to be, and he already was when he played last year especially with the Giants wide receiver room. He's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, and he's going to be that for a long time. And then a little bit deeper, there's some intriguing guys for me personally, like Wan'Dale Robinson, but when Malik was missing all those games last season, it's hard for me to establish, how confident do you feel if the Giants didn't make a move at wide receiver? Because I 100% think they will. And Travis with Russ, I really like. Could you imagine, man, the Giants could go from a 3-14 team, and I know the quarterback situation is still a little bit underwhelming. Once again, you're going to draft a rookie at some point in this draft, or if not, that's going to be next year's plan, regardless of how this year goes for the New York Giants, because Russ obviously turning 37 is not the long-term answer. But Russ got knocked a lot last season for the final 4 games for Pittsburgh, whether it's regular season or their wild card loss to Baltimore. And what people didn't really understand is Pittsburgh did not have any weapons. And so that's why the Travis Hunter move really intrigues me at pick number 3, because last year the Steelers didn't have DK Metcalf. And so Russ, when he came back from his injury, was thrown to guys like Van Jefferson and Calvin Austin, Scotty Miller, and then obviously George Pickens. But they have a nice tight end room, Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth. This isn't a Steelers video, but my point is, what would teams do when you play Russell Wilson and the Pittsburgh Steelers? Obviously, you're going to double team George Pickens. And so George Pickens was constantly double teamed, just like Malik Neighbors. And so Russ, by the end of the season, teams just figured out, hey, if we just double team and put so much pressure on George Pickens, let's have Russell Wilson and the Steelers beat us in any other way. They can run the ball all game if they want. They can throw to Pat Freiermuth all game if they want. But let's lock down Mr. George Pickens. And you can't do that next season with Malik Neighbors if you bring in Travis Hunter. So I think that would help out Malik. I think it would help out Travis. I think it would help out Theo Johnson, Russell Wilson, every member of the New York Giants offense. It would certainly help out. But it would be just such a fun tandem, whether or not it ended up working out. But anyways, he had a 90.7 PFF receiving grade across his first 3 college football seasons. So his dynamicism and his athleticism is what really stands out. But on the defensive side, he allowed just 25 catches on 47 targets while recording 5 interceptions and a forced incompletion rate of 21.3%. So we'll get into a film study here, but then because I keep mentioning, you might draft a quarterback. What I would mean is like a Riley Leonard in the 4th round. Pick 133, I believe you guys have. And I saw a mocker where Riley Leonard, Notre Dame's quarterback, went there. And I think that would work because they went to, national championship Notre Dame. I'm a Notre Dame football fan. And so it is a little bit biased, but he was solid in the pass department. He's very agile. He posted an 83.9% adjusted completion rate on throws from 0 to 9 yards. He had 571 rushing yards after contact. Once again, we're talking about a QB here. So that's kind of what I meant there. Before we get into the film study, let me know if you guys are inclined or intrigued by like a 4th round draft pick, Riley Leonard or whoever. Let me know that. But without further ado, let's get into a quick film study here of Travis Hunter. All right, guys, here is a clip. This is just a Travis Hunter touchdown. He's lining up right over here. I love doing these circles, man. And one big thing about just NFL players or college football players or just football players right now is I don't want to say fear, but Travis Hunter plays with no fear. And sometimes, like defensively, if guys not wanting to, make a big time hit, sometimes when you have a wide receiver or running back or whatever, they don't want to take a big time hit. And, it works. You got guys like Tyler Lockett who, slide. They don't even really get hit too much. But Travis Hunter's one of these guys where he plays aggressive. He plays with absolutely no fear. And you're going to see him run a little bit of a slanter here, but we'll let this one just play out before we keep on rambling a little bit too long. And this is crazy, and it kind of actually reminds me of Malik Neighbors, and this is a much better view of the hit he takes. You're going into this knowing you're about to get walloped. Beats his guy in man, and he does get hit big time. But, even with just route running here, let's do this. Just a simple little slant. That's it. Obviously, we got Mr. Shedeur Sanders lined up here. I love doing squares, but simple little play. Always open, and he does not have any fear in his body. He's just a big-time gamer, and he's a big-time playmaker, so I absolutely love it. We'll let it play out one last time before we go to the next one. Bang. All right, guys, we'll do one last one here. This is beautiful. This is just yards after catch. Travis Hunter obviously getting open and turning this into a 24-yard gain. He's going to be all the way down here at the bottom of your screen. I'll let it play out before we get into it, but yards after catch, big-time playmaker. Scoop. And it just keeps going. And he just keeps going. This guy is an absolute stud. It's such a simple route concept, and he just finds a way to. That's like the worst. I apologize. That is the worst thing I've ever done. That's the second worst thing I've ever done. You get the gist. In case you don't, we'll let it go one more. Bang, bang. Dodges 2 defenders, dodges a 3rd defender, and uses his legs to get Colorado into just about the red zone. So, folks, let me know your thoughts on Travis Hunter to the New York Giants. Once again, even if, I want to get back to the hypothetical. You can pick any player you want. Let me know who that guy is down below. But we'll see you in a couple of days. Peace.